Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my shoebox adventures. Steve, the happy camper here. Listen, I've got to address an issue that's been haunting me for about a year now. Let's talk about this. Solar generators, right? Battery packs, lithium-ion battery packs. People call them lots of different things. The industry calls them solar generators. So don't put a bunch of comments at the bottom about how it's not a solar generator. I drive a truck. The industry calls it a truck, so I call it a truck. I didn't name it. All right, but let's talk about them because you don't want to buy the wrong one. They're a little bit pricey. A lot of people say, I don't need one of these. I don't need electricity when I'm camping. Good for you. I, like all of us, tent camp for my whole life. My electricity needs were usually D-cell batteries. A little cheesy Coleman pump to pump up my air mattress, D-cells. I had a fan that took 12 D-cells. Oh my Lord, that's $24 every time I got to change batteries. Other things, you know what I'm talking about, flashlights, everything ran on batteries. And I'm perfectly happy with that because that was what we had. I wasn't worried about charging my phone. Usually it was one night, 2 nights tops at the campsite. But I went to this family thing, like we always do at my son's house where all the relatives are flying in from all over the world. And he's got 3 bedrooms and he needs 6, right? So he pulls this bed in a bag out of the closet for me. It was called an aero bed. Plugged it in the wall into 110 AC, and it had a pump inside and it filled up, and you could set it for soft, medium, or firm. Took fitted sheets, put me under right at the end of the pool table in the family room. I slept great on that thing, and so of course I thought I'd been sleeping on a queen size air mattress. We all did this or do this. The one that's about that thick, and you always wake up on the ground. There's no insulation. They take a fitted sheet. That's nice, but I can't get up off the ground anymore, and I've got to wake up in the middle of the night for reasons that none of us will ever figure out. And getting off the ground now for a guy my age, it becomes a real gymnastics event. I don't want to do that in the middle of the night, I want to just have a bed like at home and swing my legs off the bed, put them on the ground, and stand up. So this bed, this aero bed, was high. It was, you could sit on it like a regular bed. So there's only one drawback. I can't take it camping. It's made for the home because it plugs into the wall, and you don't find that. I don't go to campsites with the hookups and the plug-ins and the neighbor 5 feet on each side. I like to go out in the woods. As you can tell, I'm out in the woods right now. So now I need one of these lithium-ion battery packs, and I hadn't paid attention to them at all. But I have an urgent need for one because I want that bed like right now. So I go online like we all do, and I know nothing. I don't do any homework because guys don't read instruction books. And I'm finding Jackery. Everybody loves Jackery. It's a big name, but the Jackery 500, which was I'm looking at that just because everybody's looking at that. 500 watts, I don't know, sounds like a lot, sounds like enough for me. It was like $599. You could find it on sale for $499, but $500. I didn't want to spend that much money. Do any of us want to spend that much money? So I look, and I find this one. I hope you can see this over here. Yeah, the Rockpals. We'll just stick it on top of this one. This is my first one. This was like $349, 500 watts. And I think, yeah, it looks good. It's flat on the top so I can stack stuff on. It's got this nice handle, right? It's got a couple of outlets for AC. It's got the cigarette lighter thing for whatever. It's got some USBs to charge my phone now, which I didn't worry about. So yeah, okay, let's get it. And I plug in my bed. I buy the bed, and everything is good in the kingdom. I'm loving my bed. The bed's got this silent pump built in. A lot of you might be thinking, why didn't you just fire up a generator or just fill it up really quick with some other means and then you're good? Well, it has a monitoring pump inside that maintains the temperature or the pressure. It maintains that pressure. If you fill up your bed when it's 85 degrees outside and it drops down to 50, there's a huge difference in the volume of air then. Heat expands it, and then when it cools down, that's why our car tires in the winter, all of a sudden our tires are low. So anyway, it maintains the temperature with this silent pump, right? That you don't hear. And it works because nothing ever woke me up. I never heard a pump. And time after time, yeah, it was fantastic. Not to mention I could decide it's too soft and firm it up, or too firm and soften it up anytime I want with a little switch. So we're good to go. But now time goes by and I want what? I want a 12-volt fridge like everybody does. Because I don't want my food floating in the water anymore by day 2 or 3. And these things are coming along and they look pretty cool, and now the prices are coming down. You don't have to spend $1,000. and they run off one of these battery packs, right? Okay, well, this is when I find out that I didn't do my homework. There's some terms that I'd never heard of before, and let's go over them. First of all, you have to have a regulated 12-volt outlet. That's the cigarette lighter looking thing, the hole. That's what you plug your refrigerator into. This has to be regulated. What does that mean? Well, that means when this battery is 100% charged, it's all full, you're getting 12 volts out of that, and you're going to get 12 volts out of that all the way down to nothing, to when the battery finally dies and there's nothing left. It stays with 12 volts. If it's not regulated, guess what? Not regulated here with the Rockpals. Well, then the voltage drops as the battery capacity drops, and pretty soon your refrigerator just turns off because it's a 12-volt fridge. It's not an 8-volt fridge. So I need a new battery. Also, another term I'd never heard of because I didn't bother to check, pass-through charging. Pass-through charging means that you can use the battery at the same time you're charging it. And if you have a refrigerator, you have to do that. This one doesn't have pass-through charging. So this one, you take it home and you plug it in, you fill it up. And then you go on your camping trip and you use it up. Once it's used up, everything has to be unplugged. And then you plug it back in and wait 7 hours or more for it to charge all the way back up. And that was fine for my 1-night and 2-night things when I wasn't doing very much. But now I'm doing more things. Your refrigerator needs to run 24/7. With pass-through charging, this keeps your fridge and your food cold all night long. And if you get the right one, there's plenty of power left when you wake up in the morning, but it's not enough power to get you through a whole another second night. Probably not. So what do? You plug in a solar panel. You plug the solar panel in, but you don't unplug the fridge. The fridge is still running just fine. My fridge pulls 40, 45 watts usually, and it's a compressor, so it's on sometimes and it's off sometimes, pulling nothing. If I can get a 100-watt panel and I'm putting 80 or 90 watts in here, I'm putting in more than is going out. So by the end of the day, I've got 100%. Then it goes through the night. The next day I plug in the panel again, and we just keep repeating. And my refrigerator runs forever. This thing never runs out of power, but this doesn't do that. All right. Also, I never thought about battery capacity. I just heard 500 watts. Okay, I can plug a 500-watt item or anything smaller in there. It never occurred to me, well, how long do they last? Obviously, it's going to die, right? I mean, how much is in here? What's the gas tank on this thing? So this has 500 watt hours. They talk about watt hours. Pretend it's like the gas tank in your car. So 500 watt hours might be like a 5-gallon gas tank. Some of them have more. So when I go shopping for another one, I find this Milan. Now the Milan really appealed to me for because it's got a regulated 12-volt outlet. It's got pass-through charging, so I can use it and charge it at the same time. It's got a 600-watt inverter, which is bigger. It's got 600 watt hours, so the gas tank is a 6-gallon instead of a 5-gallon, using our analogy. And it's $275. Ta-da! Bingo! Also, it's got this light on the back. The other one doesn't have a light. This thing glows. I'd show it to you, but who cares? It's a light. You can use it in your tent or in your camper. And what else about this beautiful baby? I think that is it for now. So, it's good to go, right? Good to go. Yeah, not so much. Always test things before you go camping, because as sure as I am that this is going to work out for me, I'd do a test run and plug in my fridge. And the fridge is running just fine, so I go away and do some stuff, and I come back and the fridge is off. So what's the problem? I plug it back in and I watch this time. I'm just sitting there watching. And the compressor's compressing and it's running just fine and running just fine. Well, when the compressor shuts down, it's not pulling power anymore. Some genius put a battery-saving device in here when it doesn't sense any power draw. Like when your compressor stops compressing, the battery turns itself off. Now the refrigerator cannot turn itself back on. There's no power. It's like you unplugged it. Oh my Lord. Oh God. Do you see how saving money can cost you a lot of money? So anyway, finally, time goes by. All these things are happening kind of at the same time. And this will do a lot. By the way, I'm not bad-mouthing these units. Rockpals never claimed it would do more things than it will do. I just didn't look. And Milan never claimed that it would do more than it would do, but I wish they wouldn't put that kind of thing in the fine print. That's a weird thing, that shutting off by itself when there's no draw. That should be, it should say, this is great for everything except a refrigerator. It should say that, especially for guys that don't know what they're doing like me. Okay. Moving right along. So then, when I get my beautiful Cool Camp, is my Cool Camp in the shot? It certainly is. the guy that sold it to me, wonderful man, Robert, he had purchased a Jackery Explorer 500 and their Solar Saga 100 solar panel to use while he's camping, and he threw that in with the camper. So now I've acquired a Jackery. Oh, and these are all under $500. Remember, we started this off units under 500 because they spread the spectrum. Some people will say, well, the Jackery 500 lists for 600. You can get it for 500 all the time on sale. So it fits. Plus, I got it for free, so we're talking about it. And it does everything it's supposed to do that we talked about. Everything these guys won't do. There's no magic thing that turns off when there's no power. And I'm using that, right? In the wintertime, I'm using that and I'm camping, and I went out for an entire week. And that Jackery powered my fridge. I plugged in the solar panel during the day when the sun came up. It filled that thing back up again to 100%. Sun went down, and a whole week, fridge ran great. Everything was great. Jackery was great. Just because, I can never, ever stop looking at things. I find something on Amazon that brings up another thing I'd never heard of, but I find this, the OOPUS, right? The oops, I did it again. Yeah, I bought another one. This one has 600 watt-hour storage, and it's got a 600-watt inverter, and it's got a display on it. I'm not going to go into the displays, but all of these are lacking in displays. This one is archaic and terrible. This one at least tells you the percentage when it's on of what's left, but this one tells you everything, what's going in, what's going out, percentage of what's left, and it estimates how much time is left, how long this will continue to run, whatever you're running at the rate you're running it at, which is pretty interesting. So, oh, you got 9 more hours. Bingo. Anyway, and it's got one more thing I'd never heard of. Batteries don't last forever. I didn't think about that. They've got cycles. They talk about cycles. How many cycles, how many times can you discharge this all the way to 0 and charge it back to 100% before? And the industry seems to use 80%. Cycles to 80%. So when it gets to 80%, now my 500 watt-hour battery is only a 400 watt-hour battery. My 5-gallon gas tank has shrunken to 4 gallons because it's losing capacity the more you use it. Right now, it's not, you don't have to throw it away. It's just not going to hold as much. So my 500 is 400, and so on. The same with this. This is about 5. They're all about, the Jackery's the same. They're all about 500 cycles to 80%. All right. This one's got a new battery chemistry. This one, the OOPUS, has lithium iron phosphate batteries. Sounds pretty nice, huh? It's some kind of more stable chemistry. They're safer. They work in colder environments and hotter environments. But most importantly, this one you can cycle 3,000 times before you get down to 80% capacity. So 3,000 times, I'm thinking, well, whoa, the Jackery costs $500. Let's call it 500, and you get 500 cycles. This one was $349, by the way. I probably forgot to mention that little gem. And it lasts like 5-6 times as long. So shouldn't this cost $3,000? Isn't this like buying 5 or 6 Jackeries for $349? I don't want to shout that out too loud. But anyway, so I had to have it. I thought, oh, I've got to have it. And I like it. It's been fun. The Jackery is gone. I gave it away. It takes too long to charge. I don't want to, Jackery owners are very, very protective of their products. They're very loyal. And it's a good product. But I found that that winter that I was camping, the reason that it was so successful is it's cold outside. That refrigerator didn't use very much energy. When I wake up in the morning and it's 31 degrees, it's colder outside than it is inside the fridge. So obviously it's not drawing any power at all because it doesn't need to. When summer came and it's hot outside, then the compressor's compressing a lot more and the Jackery would lose a lot of power. One day it got down to 17%. And when I tried to charge it back up again, and you don't pay attention to things until you need to pay attention to things, I noticed that it was taking in about 60-something watts. Well, if 45 watts is going out, that's not going to make it. It wasn't charging back up, not even close. And what made me a little bit angry is I had this now, right? And they took the same charging plug, that 8mm plug or whatever it is, they matched. So when I was noticing that the Jackery in bright sun at 7,000 feet was only taking in 60-something watts, just for fun, I pulled this out and dropped it down, and all I did was unplug the Jackery and plug this in. So the panel didn't move, time of day didn't change, the power is exactly the same. This was pulling 20 more watts, so the charge controller on this one was allowing more of a charge than the charge controller on the Jackery, I imagine. I don't know electronics, I don't know solar. All I know is this was pulling more off the exact same panel than the Jackery. And the Jackery was no longer charging up during the day. I couldn't leave it on the fridge. It couldn't catch up. So I donated that to my son who needed more solar. The panel, of course, was a fabulous panel. And Jackery, I apologize if I've offended anyone. It just took too long to charge, which brought me to looking for another thing. These all claim to take about 100 watts, but they don't. Your panels, if you get a 100-watt panel, you're never going to get 100. So I wanted more. I wanted them to charge faster now. I'm thinking, wow, okay, I need it. Maybe I don't have all day of bright sun. I need it to charge faster. So I'm looking at around and I'm looking at Bluetti. So we'll move down the table here to Bluetti. I was always wanting one of these. This is the Bluetti. What is this? The EB70S. It's got an 800 watt inverter. Woo! It's got 714 watt hours of storage. Woo! It's got the lithium iron phosphate batteries, 3,000 cycles. It's got everything we talked about. it'll charge my cell phone by just setting the cell phone on top. My phone is charging right now. Wonderful. But the problem with it was like what was it? Was it $5.99? Yeah, I think so. It was $5.99, $600. Okay, that doesn't fit into our bracket. Why is it on this table, you ask? Well, everybody's having sales right now, and so and these guys are having sales all the time, and they're weird because they'll do a sale for a day, 2 days, 3 days. You know, you really have to watch. But so they put it on sale for $5.69. Big deal. That's $30 off. You're not getting my attention. Then it went to $5.29. Okay, so that's $70 off. It's getting close to my $500 threshold. So I went to the website. Instead of shopping Amazon, I went to Bluetti.com. And Bluetti offered me, they said, hey, we want your email address so we can send you, we can bother you with all of our sales and all of our information. They want me to give them my email address, which I'm not really anxious to do that because now I know my phone's going to blow up all day long with all these things. But if I turn over that address, they're going to give me a coupon code for $80 off my first purchase. So $5.29, now I'm at $4.49. $4.49. So I did it, I gave them the old address, they gave me the code, boom. And I could put it on PayPal and pay for it over a 6-month period of time with no interest at all. 6 months, same as cash. It doesn't get any better than that, right? I can find justifications for spending money. It's unbelievable. So that's why I have my EB70S. And this one will take 200 watts of solar instead of the one. So it'll charge twice as fast. And it's also got a bigger capacity, so it, the more watt hours you have, the longer it's going to take, obviously, to fill that gas tank, right? If you've got a 7-gallon gas tank and you're at the pump, it's going to take longer to put in 7 gallons than it is to put in 5. So it is going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to stay way ahead of my refrigerator at 45 watts. So kudos to Bluetti. Technology is changing fast, people. This, I don't even know if they even make this anymore. Just be sure that it's got all, don't get this. Be sure it'll do what you want it to do. Because what you think you want it to do today, remember, I just wanted to fill up a mattress when I bought this. That's all I wanted. Now I can charge my phone, but that was kind of, and I can run a few USB fans or whatever, but I didn't have big expectations when I bought this, and then things changed, and I wanted to do, more stuff. So you find that you need more than you thought you did when you started thinking about this stuff. Everybody's having sales, as I mentioned, and technology is changing really fast. And there are brands out there popping up left and right. So I was going to recommend what I think you should get, and I hesitate to do that. Because I haven't tested it for a period of time, so I can't really vouch for the product. I can tell you what I want to get. Bluetti, again, I'm on this Bluetti kick, but they're by no means the only one. There's EcoFlow you should look at. They've just updated their battery chemistry. There's lots of different ones. Check them out and watch for sales. Don't ever pay the list price. They all go on sale. And especially if technology changes and I'm pretty sure Bluetti is putting in, see, nobody likes the display. This has got a great display. The EcoFlow has a great display. These guys have terrible displays, and people let them know. I think they're going to put out a whole new line of batteries, this is just my guess, with new updated displays. So these are going to go on sale because they want to get them out of here. After I saw it for $5.29 and I got my coupon and I got it for $4.59, they put it down to $4.99. If I could have got the coupon for that, I could have got it for $4.29. Woohoo! But right now, on and off, Bluetti does this. It's on sale right now. Now it's not on sale. You missed it. Okay, now it's on sale again. Not fast enough. You didn't get it. So watch, especially like on Facebook. They throw these ads out all the time. EB55. They've got one called an EB55. It lists for $499. It's got 537 watt hours. Don't quote me on that. It's got a 700 watt inverter. It'll take 200 watts of solar on the charge, and you can put 200 watts of AC in at the same time for a total of 400 watts. They're claiming you can charge it from 0 to 100% in 1.8 hours. That would be under perfect conditions. That's never going to happen, but that's a pretty fast charge. So that little battery goes on sale, and I've seen it multiple times for $399. That's 20% off. Is that 20% off? Yeah, do the math. So $399 for a 700 watt inverter, 537 watt hour storage, 200 watts of solar input, 200 watts of AC at the same time if you're really in a hurry, and it's got all the new stuff. It'll do the same thing with the phone. If you want to charge your phone, no more plugging it in. Just set it on the top. It's got the charger. Just boom, now your phone is charging. I like that one for $399, but I can't tell you if it's reliable. I can't tell you, it's a little bit smaller than this, lighter than this. Check it out. Do your homework. Look them over. But I would get a little bigger than you think you need, just because you're going to want to do more things with it. And I've found that even though these don't do the fridge thing, there's always something you can plug these things into. I've got my for instance, I boil water, right? If I want to make some coffee or any reason I need to boil water and I don't want to fire up the stove, or if it's super windy, like when I got here, that was like hurricane force winds, I couldn't start up a stove. Plug this right in. You've got boiling water in 10 minutes. So these things are backup for me now. They'll do things, electric blankets, whatever they'll do. And then I got these things for refrigerator use, right? And in the future, who knows? You're going to, in videos, I'm going to keep making videos, and hopefully you're going to keep watching my videos. And you're going to see me using these things for all kinds of different stuff. And I probably won't be pointing it out. It'll be in the background or whatever, but you'll notice. It's amazing the things that you could, I'm a glamper. I want to be comfortable, and I like to bring stuff along. When I was when I was at Cachuma Lake in California, it got to be 100 degrees. I was running an ice maker off these things. It's and a blender for margaritas. I'm not encouraging you to do those kinds of things, but when you're camping with a group and it's really hot, it's kind of fun. But they open doors, solar possibilities. Solar has opened so many possibilities to camping for me that I get very excited about it. So I hope I've answered some questions. I hope this has helped you. Solar panels. Let's talk briefly about solar panels. These guys will tell you, Bluetti will recommend you only use Bluetti panels. They want you to buy their panel, Jackery, only their panel. Yeah, no, you can use anybody's panel to charge any one of these units. You can. What you want to look for in panels, again, I'm a guy that's always looking for a bargain. And I got some panels that were really, really a good deal, but I discovered later, again, it's kind of like the things I discovered with these. Some panels, if the sun moves and there's a tree in the way now, or part of the panel gets shaded while you're charging, if it's a good panel, like my Bluetti panel, you'll lose some charge because part of the panel is blocked, but it doesn't stop. It keeps charging. You just don't get the 100%. You don't get as much. Some panels that look really good, you block a little tiny bit of that panel and you get nothing. Zero, zip. It has to be 100% exposed to the sun. I don't like that, only because it's happened to me. I'm charging away and I'm doing stuff, when we're camping, we're doing stuff. Oh, God, housekeeping, how embarrassing. Sorry. Pay no attention to what was inside there. What a mess. This guy's a slob. Yeah. And then and a tree, all of a sudden, there's a tree trunk shading a tiny portion of the panel, and I've got nothing. So for the period of time that I didn't realize that I'm doing my thing, and I think I'm charging my battery, it's not charging. So look for that, all right? My son found some panels at Costco in California with a Massimo brand on them, and they're kind of flimsy looking and cheesy, and they started out at $179 for a 100-watt panel, which is not a bad price. Then they went to $149 for that same panel because they wanted them out of there, better price. And then they really wanted them out of there, so they went down to 99 bucks, and that's just a steal. I wished I had known. I would have called them and said, let me send you some money. Get me some of those panels. 99 bucks for a 100-watt panel. But those, he bought a few, and you cover up 25% of the panel and you lose 25% only of your charging. It still charges. So I would think that cheesy panel at $99 would be the one that, you know, that if you block it, you're screwed. No, they were good. So do your homework on that too. But you don't have to buy their panels. And again, they all go on sale. Never pay retail. And hopefully I can get this video out very quickly because it's the holiday season. So check all that stuff out. And a lot of times they bundle. Check the bundle price. Sometimes the bundle price is it's a bargain. They're going to cut, you know, 25, 35% off the price if you buy the panel and the unit at the same time. You know, look at that. Yeah, Blue Eddy did that to me after I bought this for $449 and thought it'll never get that cheap again. They bundled it with their panels, and if you looked at the panel price and the price of this, this would have been more like $429 and the panel would have been something similar. It was a huge savings. Well, I'd already just bought this, hadn't finished paying for it yet, so I couldn't, you know, and really how many do I need? But point of the story, watch for sales and you'll be fine. So, and these will last 10 years. You can you can completely, you can use it all the way down to 0 and charge it back to 100 every single day for 10 years. And then it's at 80%. That's what the cycle times work out to, they tell me. So that's pretty cool. I'll be dead before this thing's there. Thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up. I need more likes, right? These are likes, apparently. These are more important than anything else. I didn't know that. If I don't get any likes, then they don't think anybody likes my videos and they don't show them to anybody. So please subscribe. Ring the bell. You'll get to know when the next video comes out. And thumbs up. If you think about it, give me a thumbs up so I get a like, and then they put my videos out to more people. That's what I hear. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And stay tuned. More fun videos are on the way. Until then, happy camping. Bye-bye now.